Have you ever stopped to wonder if the colors you see actually exist? Well, what if I told you that colors don't really exist? It may sound crazy, but stick around and let me explain. But before I do, remember to subscribe for more cool science and philosophy videos. Hello everyone, and welcome to this video on why colors don't actually exist. You may be surprised to hear that the colors we see are not inherent properties of the objects around us, but rather, they are a product of our brain's interpretation of light waves. Light waves have different wavelengths, and the wavelengths that are reflected off an object determine the color that we see. Our eyes detect these wavelengths and send signals to our brains, which then interpret them as colors. Think of it this way. Imagine that the colors we see are like the sounds we hear. Just as different sound waves create different noises, different light waves create different colors. To further illustrate this point, let's take the example of a red apple. The apple appears red to us because it reflects light waves with a wavelength that our eyes and brain interpret as red. However, if we were to view the apple under a different type of light, such as blue light, it would appear different because the wavelengths being reflected would be different. Another example is the color magenta. Believe it or not, magenta is not actually a wavelength of light. It's a color that our brains create by combining red and blue light waves. So, while it may seem like the colors we see are real and tangible, they are actually just a product of our brain's interpretation of light waves. This realization has profound implications for our understanding of reality. Firstly, it suggests that our experience of the world is subjective. What we perceive as real is actually a construction of our minds based on sensory information. This means that the colors we see are not necessarily the same as the colors perceived by other animals, or even other humans. Secondly, it raises questions about the nature of reality itself. If our experience of color is not objective, what else about the world around us is not as it seems? Are there other aspects of our reality that are also subjective, and if so, how can we truly know what is real? This idea of the subjectivity of color perception has fascinated philosophers for centuries. The 18th century philosopher George Berkeley argued that objects only exist insofar as they are perceived by a mind. In other words, there is no such thing as an object that exists independently of a perceiver. This idea, known as idealism, challenges our conventional understanding of the relationship between the mind and the world. In conclusion, the fact that colors don't actually exist may seem like a small detail, but it has far-reaching implications for our understanding of reality. It challenges us to question our assumptions about what is real and objective, and forces us to consider the role that our own perception plays in shaping our experience of the world. Thank you for watching this video, and we hope it has given you something to think about.